Hey guys, so I wanted to talk briefly about Colin Kaepernick's campaign ad with Nike. For those of you who are not familiar with Colin Kaepernick, he has been an activist since he was protesting against police brutality while he was a quarterback for the 49ers up until 2006. And he actually went to the Super Bowl in 2013. And although they didn't win, he still had a promising NFL career. He hasn't been banned from the NFL, but he hasn't been on a roster. And I just want to say that Nike signed him on to be the face of the Just Do It campaign is, I think, a great idea. This is a man that didn't care about winning a championship. He chose speaking out against racism over having a ring. And I just want to talk about the campaign. I saw the campaign video and I thought it was remarkable. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so inspirational because you got to see not just household name athletes, but you got to see athletes who would never probably get the recognition that they got on the campaign because they're not going to be household names due to being differently abled. I like seeing the little boy who had the mermaid syndrome where he doesn't have any legs or feet. And he's able to tackle his opponent and win a tournament of playing wrestling. I also like seeing the young guy who had the brain tumor and was able to lose 100 pounds within a year to be able to run with the iron. It's like the Iron Man, sport. That's what Colin Kaepernick was talking about. And I also liked how he said about don't aspire to wear an Odell Beckham, OBD jersey. Have OBD wear your jersey. Have him want to be like you. Don't try to be the fastest person in the world. Try to be the fastest person alive. Try to be the best at it. And that's what the whole message of the campaign is. Or when he talked about Serena Williams, she wasn't just the baddest girl in tennis. She's one of the greatest athletes to ever live. And when you discuss about LeBron James, don't talk about LeBron James just as one of the greatest basketball player of all time. Talk about him being even greater because he built a school. And that's the message behind the campaign. And even deeper, when he says, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything, I think that's just very deep. I just think that it's one of those things that, if you are passionate about something, you're going to give up everything just to become that person. I'm not talking about on some real creepy or Illuminati stuff. I'm talking about sacrificing your time and your energy for things that's not important to reach your goal. And the message is deep. And it also says, an idea is crazy until you just do it, And once you do it, it could be not just the best idea ever, but it could be groundbreaking. It could save lives. Like, for instance, don't just aspire to be a doctor. Be a doctor that creates a cure for mankind. Don't just be a lawyer. Be a lawyer that sets change in the legal system, that creates laws to better humanity. Don't be a teacher. Don't just be a teacher, but be the best teacher that changes the way we educate children in American society, that makes them better learners. Certain things, like be the best at everything you can be. And that's what the message was about. But the white supremacists changed it and they decided, we're going to campaign by burning all our Nike gear. And we're not going to have certain colleges that are conservative endorse Nike and create a division. And let me tell you something, there was nothing divisive about the campaign. It's just that he didn't pledge the allegiance. He kneeled. All right. And you have a right to, because first of all, for all these conservative Christians, you are the ones that are committing fraud. And you're the one that's being divisive because first of all, under Christianity, you're not supposed to pledge your allegiance to anything but God. Colin Kaepernick, technically, in the eyes of the Lord, hasn't done anything wrong. You all have because you're pledging allegiance to a flag. And you're not supposed to. You're supposed to pledge your allegiance to the Lord. So that's why I call this whole conservative Christian movement hypocritical. Second of all, you're causing racism because you're burning down Nike gear. Now, there's a man who supposedly caused his house to burn down because he burned down all of his Nike gear in his house. And if that is true, you're a fool, but I hope the little children that was in the house, I hope they was protected, because you need to go to jail for that. You really do. Also, I just want to say that when you deal with white supremacy, their whole thing about protesting, especially when black protests, they don't like us to protest because they know that they owe us for years of reparations of our ancestors being slaves. And they know that if the world sees that we're waking up and that we're speaking out against them, they're going to be afraid that they're going to lose their power, and that people that may be complacent, not care, may say, oh yeah, you got to pay these black people because you didn't pay their ancestors that were enslaved when they were free. And now you still kept the system kind of similar to slavery, and you owe them. So that's their whole fear. They are afraid of us retaliating, not so much violently, but just on like a mass protest level. They are afraid of that. That's why they complain about Colin Kaepernick, because they know that he could spark a revolution, and they are afraid of that. And that's their whole thing. That's how come I say to them, they would say, oh, Nike lost billions. Crap. Because the sales of Nikes online went up 31% as soon as that commercial aired. And a lot of it has to do with people who probably wouldn't normally buy Nikes. Maybe they saw the advertisement and said, well, if Nike can reach out to Colin Kaepernick and Colin Kaepernick did a good thing, I think that I'm going to, support Nike, buy it for my kids, or maybe buy it for myself. I may not get Jordans. I may not get $100 plus pair of sneakers, but I may get some sneakers that's like, $69.99 or something like that. That's the whole thing. So don't play into this whole thing of this division, because I do believe it's a lie. I believe it's the white supremacists that's creating this because they want to start chaos, because they want to create a race war. It's not the black people. It's not us. It's the whites, and it's not even whites. It's white supremacists that are afraid of losing their power. But overall, I thought it was inspirational. I love the advertisement. And I got to give Nike props on it. And with that being said, this is your girl, Miss Analytical, signing off. I really just want to thank everybody who not only have listened to my audios, subscribed to my channel, shared my videos on YouTube, but I want to thank everybody who's pointed out that they like my work. And I appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you. And for everybody, take care and have a good night.